Hello, hello. This is Dallas Cohn, the Rebound Coach, and you are watching or listening to another episode of the Rebound Coach Live. I'm so happy that you're here today. Thank you so much for sharing virtual space with me. This is your very first time on the Rebound Coach Live, either watching or listening to, and you're like, who are you and what is a rebound coach? Like, I don't even understand. Welcome. Welcome. I'm a life coach. Life coaches help people get unstuck, and I have the personal privilege of serving high achieving women of faith who have lived through betrayal, trauma, or abuse, and are gaining territory in their relationship with themselves, gaining heart territory, gaining healing territory, gaining clarity, focus, intention, gaining their power back. So, why in the world am I doing such a thing? It happened from my own story, guys. I headline today. I was married for just about 10 years to a man who wanted me dead and almost had the chance to take my life. He and his adulteress were plotting my murder for months by the time I found out about it. And it was crazy. I'm way shortening the story because we have just some important things to talk about tonight, and I am excited to get to that. As a matter of fact, yesterday would have been 13 years that I would have been married. I've been unmarried for almost 4 years now. 3 years really, since 2021. But I've been away since end of 2019, beginning of 2020. But yesterday would have been 13 years. And I was reading through this book. This is my book. It's called I Choose Life, Rewrite Your Love Story and Change Your Legacy. And it is not just my story of how in the world I ended up in a marriage to someone who wanted me dead, but also how I am still here. And by the grace of God, my children and I are here and safe. And I'm going to try to take my glasses off just to not have the glare, but we'll see how that goes throughout today's episode. But God's been very, very gracious to me. And this is not just my story of how I got into a situation like that, how I got out of a situation like that, but it's also a roadmap for those of you who love people who are in abusive situations or have been in abusive situations and you want to help. So whether that's physical, emotional, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, religious abuse, any of those, narcissistic abuse, any label that could be on it, this book is for you to support them, or it's for them if they're going through that. You can find this book at thereboundcoach.com/book. That is thereboundcoach.com/book. You can get one of these hard copies and I will sign it and mail it to you, one of these from me, or you can get one from Amazon and they will ship it to you, or you can get an ebook. So just wanted to let you know this story will change your life. And many people who have not even, men get this book and are blessed. Women who have not experienced any sort of domestic violence get this book and are blessed. It will bless you. And if you're a pastor or a spiritual leader or a leader of any sorts, abused women are everywhere. And you want to be a resource. You want to be a help instead of a hindrance. This book is for you too. Again, you can find it at thereboundcoach.com/book. Okay. So today's topic is about, are you headed to your next level? We hear about levels a lot, and we think about like, oh, next level, especially in faith circles. So I was raised Christian. I'm now a Messianic believer. I have the menorah behind me because I'm standing in solidarity with Israel. There's a lot going on right now, as I'm sure you know, and it's heavy on my heart. I have members of my personal local faith community out there in Israel right now, trying to find their way back to the States. And it's pretty heavy. And I'm always looking for lessons. What can we learn from any situation? What am I to learn by living through this situation? And what I would say is that those of us still here, first of all, you just heard my story. I know what it's like to be under threat, under threat, and doing your best to live a positive life under threat. I've been there just on a personal level. Now, it does not compare to war and ancient conflict. But in my limited experience, I know what it's like to be afraid for your life. I know what it's like to have your world just kind of wrecked. And it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. And so I empathize with everyone over there, but especially my Israeli brothers and sisters. And you might be like, well, what's that got to do with my with my next level? You're just depressing me. What's this got to do with with the job I want, or the money I want, or the power I want, or the relationships that I'm after? What's this got to do with that? And I would say that there's lessons we can learn from this situation that apply to us. I'm trying to read notes without glasses, y'all. It's a whole thing. There are those of us that are here. So, I have the privilege of being in the United States of America right now. I have the privilege of not being physically there and not having that physical threat that so many people are living under, and that trauma, that collective trauma, and that mourning and that grief. So what does that mean? Those of us here that are alive and remain, if that rings a bell to you, those of us that are here, I believe that we have a responsibility. I believe we have a mission, if you will, to do all that we can to thrive. Everything God made is alive. Everything God made seeks to grow and grow and grow until it can't grow anymore. It is only people that have the luxury of mediocrity. You don't see a tree saying, you know what, I'm not going to grow anymore. I think I've had enough. I kind of like this level. I'm just going to stay right here. Right? You don't see that. You don't see weeds. Weeds are really good at growing and growing and growing and growing. And you cut them down and they grow again. You cut them down, they grow again, right? They're really good at that. Why? It's natural. So for all of us that have the privilege to breathe air, if anything, it's been a while since 9/11. It's been a while since America has really felt now, and even COVID was the most recent, right? Where we felt the shortness of the time we have here on this planet. We really don't have forever, and tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow's not promised for any of us. So what have we done today to make a difference? What have we done today to move ourselves forward? What have we done today to live in the purpose that we were created for? And that's just as loud as to me as anyone. What have we done today to make a difference, to be positive, to be a positive force on the earth? And that has to do with getting to our next level, whatever the world that is, right? It's not okay just to stay stagnant and just to stay in comfort zone because it's comfortable. If you're here, if you're hanging out over here on the Rebound Coach Live, if you're hanging out with me and any of the events that I'm doing and stuff, it's because there's something in you that wants to do better, that wants to be better, that wants to have more, that wants to go further, faster, better. And there is that for us, but we have to be intentional about it. So, yes. Okay. So what does next level mean? When we think about that, so often we're thinking about, the next level, I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to drive this fancy car and I'm going to live in this big fancy house. I personally am going to have a mansion on the beach and I'm going to visit the Maldives all the time. Okay, I have this whole plan, as you can tell. But, we think about the materialistic things. We think about the signs of status or the outside trappings of success. Like, this proves that I have made it to the quote unquote next level. But what I will say is that there's a different option. There's a deeper option. There's a more meaningful option. Okay. There are internal levels of growth that are quite frankly required before we can get to that external status of success. The stuff we're thinking is going to get us there doesn't get us there. It is the internal work. And I was invited. The Lord has been inviting me to that internal work for a while. But I was externally invited to internal work recently. And it was framed as an invitation to the next level. And that really got me to thinking, okay, if I were going to provide steps to your next level, what would that look like? Okay, so you know me, I have some steps for you. I have some steps for you because a coach is not just going to give you good information. I have to give you practical steps you can take to get you where you want to go. Okay, so, and we won't be here long because it's only been 10 minutes and I'm already to steps. Okay, so steps to get you to your next level. Number one, define what the heck it is. Like I mentioned, those kind of outward trappings. All right, if that's what next level is, write it down. I know I'm going to be at the next level when I have X number of dollars in the bank. I drive this kind of car. I have this kind of relationship in my life. I have this kind of health, this kind of body, like whatever it is, you mark it out. Okay. Number one, define it and be clear. Be clear, be clear. And you might get to sketching this out and go, man, that's a whole lot. Maybe I should focus on just one part of that. That's a good idea. Focus on just one part of that at a time. It's very, very good. Okay, so step number one is to name out what are the steps. Okay, or number one, defining your next level. Number two, what are the steps required? So, you know, if I want to have a certain amount of money, what do I need to do to get there? Now, does this mean that it's the only way to get there? No, there's normally more than one way to get to a destination, but you have to have some sort of a plan. So you go ahead, you make your plan. Does that mean it's the only thing? Nope. Does it mean that that's the guaranteed way you're going to get there? Nope. Just these are the steps required. Okay. If I want better relationships, I need to be a better person, right? I need to be a better person. Well, no, I just need, a certain kind of person to appear. People are attracted. You attract people. Okay. The kind of people that are around you, you have attracted them for better and for worse. And we not only do we attract certain kinds of people, we teach them how to treat us. So if we are being mistreated, whether that is a minor offense all the way to abuse, now we don't cause anyone's choices, right? Like we don't control anybody else's choices. However, we do condition them on how to treat us by what we allow. And I know that is not nice. It is true, but it's not nice when someone is in an abusive situation. And I'm not victim shaming or victim blaming. And this is not about taking responsibility away from perpetrators. There's no way. We don't control anyone else's behavior, but we can allow or not allow someone's behavior in our lives. And that's not necessarily easy, but it is a fact. And we can decide. And it took me a really long time to decide. It took me a really long time to even give myself a choice to make a decision, right? But by not deciding, I was also deciding. So that's a sidebar. But number two, what are the steps required to get you where you want to go? Step number three, and this is important, who do I need to become to get there? Like I mentioned, we attract, then in the relationship example, but really for everything, we attract the kind of people that are in our lives. Okay. We also attract we teach them how to treat us. So we attract the people and we teach them how to treat us. So who do I need to be to change that situation? If it's a relational situation, if it is a financial situation, if it is, a health situation, who do I need to become? Do I need to become someone who has discipline? Talking to the mirror. Do I need to become a person that has certain habits and lets go of other habits? Okay. Those are important things. So here's under who do I need to become to get there? What is the cost to my current perspective? Mindset is really the key on all of the changes, excuse me, all of the changes we want to make in our lives. Mindset is the key. So what's the cost of my current perspective in order to get where I want to go? Where I say I want to go, right? And do I want to go bad enough to change my perspective? And it really is like your story must change if you are going to change and if your situation is going to change. Your situation is the last thing that changes. So your mindset changes, then you change, then your situation changes, like in that order. So it's required that some of these stories that we've told ourselves since forever have to go. The stories we've told ourselves about ourselves, what we can have, what the world is like, what men are like, what women are like, what moms are like, what white people are like, what pastors are like, what organized religion is like, what those heathens over there are like whatever stories we're telling ourselves, those stories must change if we want change in the other areas. And so it's going to cost. It's going to cost your story. It's going to cost your comfort zone. It's going to cost what you're used to doing, your habits. It's going to cost. And not so much like, oh, I got to get rid of these friends. Like you hear that, you hear preachers talk about that. Like, oh, you got to get rid of these people and that's going to change your situation. You have to get rid of the story on the inside that's having you choose certain people. And that when your story changes, you look with new eyes, you hear with new ears. So what's outside may not have changed, but it feels different, looks different, sounds different, interprets different because you are different. Okay. So what's the cost of my current story, my current perspective? What is the mental or emotional or habitual safety that I need to give up? Okay, I'm going to read that again. What is the mental, emotional, habitual safety that I need to give up for this to be different? Because again, the stories we tell ourselves are in some form or fashion to keep ourselves safe, or what we think is going to keep ourselves safe. So we tell ourselves a story. All men are bad. All preachers are, fake. All heathens are scary, or whatever it is. We tell ourselves what we tell ourselves because we feel like it's going to give us control and or safety. I'm going to understand the world. It's better when I understand the world than when I don't, right? So I'm going to do all these things. But again, we will have to give that up, and it's going to cost. It's going to cost what we're used to. It's going to cost ease and comfort and predictability. It's going to cost our feet on the ground in some circumstances, because you'll have to be somebody different. The beautiful thing is you don't have to do this by yourself. So normally I give you 3 steps. Today I have 4. Okay. So number 1, define your next level. Number 2, what steps are required to get you there? I need to do this, then I need to do that, then I need to do that. Number 3, who do I need to become to get there? And underneath number 3, so like 3A, what's the cost to my current story or perspective? And then 3B, if you're taking notes, what's the mental, emotional, or habitual safety I need to give up to be this new person, to have this new situation? And really count the cost. Count the cost. There will be a cost. And the benefit to doing that is not to get you depressed, but to make your yes be yes. Because once you count the cost and you're like, you know what? I might have to give this up. I might have to give that up. So I'll give you an example. When I was going through everything in my marriage and I was praying for relief, I was praying for the adultery to end. I was praying for the craziness that we were dealing with to end, the trauma and the drama. And I was praying for that to be over. And I knew it was going to cost something major. I didn't know all of it, but I literally prayed like, God, I don't know what it's going to take, but can you make this stuff stop? Can you just make it stop? I was done living in it and tolerating it. Now, had I made a decision to leave at that time? No. Had I made a decision to divorce? Absolutely not. That was not even on the table at the time of that prayer. I was literally just saying, God, I don't know what it's going to take, but please make this stop. And I knew that the status quo of what I had been maintaining for those 10 years was up. I knew that that was over. In order for me to have peace, in order for me to have safety, in order for the terrible, terrible merry-go-round of trauma to stop, my status quo of being this man's wife and trying to hold the chaos inside so that my world didn't explode, trying to keep up appearances, trying to do everything so he wouldn't do bad things. All of it. I knew that it was going to cost that. And I didn't know what that looked like on the other side. And I was afraid to even think about it. But that was the prayer. God, I don't know what it's going to take. And I'm willing to do whatever it's going to take. But I ask that this be changed. And God did do it. He did do it. He's so faithful. He's so faithful. But it costs. And I had to be willing to pay the cost, even though I didn't know what all it was going to be. And so it is for all of us. No matter what change that we are seeking in our lives, it will cost. It will cost. And I shudder as I think about the conflict in Israel and the Middle East and the great cost that is being paid right now. The great cost that has been paid in many generations before. This is not a new conflict. It's been going on for a long, long time. And it is quite a cost. And, there's so much complexity that I'm still not aware of and will never claim to be an expert on that. What I will say is the anatomy of change is the same, whether you are an individual, you're a family, you are a business or an organization, you're a national government. It is the same. And it costs. True change costs. And the question becomes, when we are faced with the cost, what are we paying for? And are we willing to pay the cost? And I speak with trepidation about that because it's real. It's real. And so point number 4, after we have counted our cost to the best of our ability and we've become willing to pay our cost to the best of our ability, know that the fourth question is, who's going to help you? Because you're not an island. Nobody's an island, and nobody gets to success by themselves. And I don't care what kind of success it is. No one gets to success by themselves. There are no self-made millionaires. There are millionaires who have had businesses that employ other people or somehow involve other people's money. Like, there's no self-made, I did it all by myself. No one does it all by yourselves. Okay. No one can have success all by yourself. So what does that mean? That we need each other, and there's people to help you get to where you want to go. And I am excited because I've been a part of a community that's helping people get where they want to go in life, whether that is financial freedom, they want relationship freedom, they want healthy families, they want healthy bodies. I've seen so many wonderful, wonderful outcomes come out of this community that I've been a part of, and that has blessed my life for several years. And I've told myself for a long time that I was going to invite my community, the people that come to the Rebound Coach Live, people that come to the events that I've done over the years, I was going to finally invite them to make a difference in their own lives and the lives of their community. And so there's an event coming up in January called First Steps to Success, where we do just that. We help each other get to the next level, whatever that is for you. So I want to share a tiny video with you about First Steps to Success and what you can expect there, And I am coming right back. Let's do this. Okay, I'm back. I'm over here. I have to press the button. Okay. I had to press the button. Okay, so First Steps to Success again is happening in Orlando, Florida, January 26th, 27th, 28th of 2024. And I personally am looking for 5 people to come with me to change their lives. If you are serious about getting to your next level, whatever that is for you. And if you're watching the replay or you're watching here live, put in the comments, here's what's important to me. Here's the next level. Here's what this looks like for me. I'm going to count the cost. I'm going to not do this alone because I'm serious about the growth I want in my life. It's not easy. It's not. It can be simple. Many points of change are simple, but they're not easy. But I will tell you this, it's also not impossible. And I've seen it over and 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 over again. It's not impossible. You can do this, and we are here to do it with you. If you are like, yeah, tell me more about Orlando in January, I want to go. Reach out to me. Whatever social media, I made something go away. Whatever social media platform that we are on together right now, you can reach out to me on it, whether you are on Facebook or YouTube or something else. You can reach out to me there. I'd love to talk with you about it. I'd love for you to come with me. It's going to be amazing. And I'm excited. So again, I am so happy and thankful that you shared your time with me. If you are a praying person, please continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and the safety of the people who live there. God bless you. God bless you. Looking forward to hearing from you. And until next time, folks, choose life.